Yo guys, what is going on? Tempest here, and welcome back to another video on the channel.
Damn, I hate to go psycho. Lil' mama bad like Michael. Can't really trust nobody with all this jewelry on you. My
So in today's video, I'll be teaching you guys the basics on Photoshop. I'll just be showing you guys just like the shortcuts, the tools, and just how Photoshop works in general. Now, I know I've done this video before, but it was a very long time ago, so I'm going to do an up-to-date version for you guys because I know a lot of you guys are very new to Photoshop, and a lot of my videos are quite advanced, so I'm going to do something quite simple. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, smash that like button down below, that would really mean a lot. The support has been amazing recently, so just keep it up guys. Subscribe if you are new, and let me know what videos you'd like to see from me next. I'm always checking the comments guys, you know that. And yeah, let's get right into the video. Okay guys, so when you first get into Photoshop, you've got create new and open. So open, you can just open all the Photoshop projects that you've done, pictures, graphics packs, anything you want. But if you want to start creating your own just design straight away, just go over to create new. So once this is opened, you've got loads of different options on the sizes of the document. So you've got saved ones, which is just sizes of documents which you have saved, so you don't have to set it up again. I've not actually saved any. You've got the recent, which is the ones you've recently used. The thing that I use mostly is art and illustration because I want to create designs. So yeah, once you click on that, you can change the width and the height. So I'm going to choose 1280 by 720 just as an example, and you want to be using pixels because we're going to be doing designing. Color mode RGB, so that's just pretty much the standard, and then you can choose a background as well, which is, it doesn't really matter because you can change that after, and then you can click create. So once you've opened this, you've got your main working space in the center, and then on the left you've got your toolbar, which is basically where you can just mess around with brushes, pen tools, and you can just, it's just basically the main thing when you are designing. You want to make sure you're using all that, and you can also remove or add other different areas, but we'll just leave that for now. So the main thing you want to remember is when you're doing designing, a lot of people when they first get Photoshop, they just like do everything on one layer, but it's all about layering things up. So if you want to do something, add a new layer and then design on that layer, and you can tell if you are on that layer by this highlighted box right here. So yeah, just remember that. And the good thing about doing things on separate layers is then you can move it around and edit it, rather than having it all as one object. So yeah, so as you can see right here, I'm just on the brush right now, and you can make it smaller or bigger by going in the top left right here, and you've got different brush presets. So I'm just going to choose this, and you can make it 100 hardness. So 100 hardness would be just like a solid line, and then 0 hardness would be very feathered. So yeah, it kind of says it in the name. So yeah, and then you can change the size as well of the brush, but you can also change the size through shortcuts, and you can do things through shortcuts with many things, but you can, there's lots of tutorials on that. But the main shortcuts you need to remember is Control Alt right click, and it's just very helpful. It just changes the size of the brush. Control Alt right click, move left and right. It's very simple, and then move up and down to change the hardness. And then other shortcuts such as Control Alt Z, which basically goes back a step. So if I click there, if I want to go back and remove that, Control Alt Z, and that removes it. So yeah, back to the layers. You've got the layers down here. I've got 2 layers and the background. I'm going to remove the background, and then that just makes it transparent. So if I want to do something on the first layer, you can just do that, and I've just got a bit of black there. And then I've got the second layer, and I'll just change it to a different colour for that. And as you can see, because I've done it on 2 separate layers, when I come to edit it and move it, I've got it on 2 separate layers, which is what you want to do. But if you want to like put them together and merge them, press Ctrl E, and then it's all one object. So that's pretty much for the layers. make sure you just make everything on a new layer. And then you've got the pen tool, which is basically there for basically going around images or making shapes. So I'm just going to make a random shape right here. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this because this would be a whole different video if I go into the detail that I wanted to. And yeah, you can make a selection by right clicking make selection, and then you can fill that in with the paint bucket tool like so, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, you've got all these different tools on the side. The rubber, which is pretty simple. You've got the brush selection tool. You've got the shape tool, which if you double click you can choose different shapes. You have the text tool, so you can, for the text tool you can either click and type, or you can drag and create a text box, so that's pretty simple stuff. And then the other ones you don't really need to worry about unless you want to go in, if you want to, it's basically for more advanced people. I'm just showing you guys the basics. And then at the top you have got file, which is where you can create a new, open, save things, which you basically do this at the start or at the beginning when you're designing. So if you're at the start you want to open a new thing, or at the end if you want to save things. But you can also do things such as placing objects. So if you go to place embedded, you can place an image that you've got from Google, or if you've just got saved in your computer. So for example this, I can just place that in there, and if I wanted to I can edit it. You've got edit there, which is basically just like shortcuts such as like undo, go forwards, remove things, and also things like transform, just basically editing things on your Photoshop document. Doesn't really matter about them. You've got filter, which is basically really good for adding effects to your designs, and you can go through these yourself, but you've got things like blur, pixelate, all that type of stuff. It's very simple. But another thing you can do is go to 3D. So if you're creating text or you want to make an image 3D, this is where you go to. But like I said, that would be a whole different video. I'm just showing you guys simple stuff. You can add things such as like just sidebars and stuff like that. So character, that's all about text. So text effects, and you can just bring it over to the side like so. Very simple things. And yeah, there's loads of different things you can bring on. Properties, maybe you want that, and then you can bring it up to the sidebar, or you can bring it to the left. You can basically edit it and put things wherever you want, and just make your Photoshop layout however you guys want it to look. So yeah, there's other shortcuts you need to remember as well, guys, if you want to make your Photoshop time a lot easier, such as Control+, Control-, which basically zooms in and zooms out. And you can change these shortcuts yourself. If you go to edit, keyboard shortcuts at the bottom, and then you can just change all the shortcuts yourself. Control-T, so if I just do a shape on a new layer, Control-T, that basically allows you to change the size of it, the width, the height, and if you right click you can flip horizontal, flip vertical, and also do other effects such as the perspective, warp it, you know, like warping it. It's very cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all of the shortcuts that you pretty much definitely need to know when you're on Photoshop, other than maybe grouping layers down the bottom, which just allows you to manage your layers and just make it easier to find where your layers are hiding. So if you just group it by pressing Ctrl G, and then as you can see, that's group 1, and if you press the arrow, it shows what's inside that group, and then you can also name that group. I'll just put layers, but yeah, you can name them and just manage your Photoshop very easily. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the basics. As you can see here, I've got adjustments, which basically you can make it brighter. It's basically changing the colours and It's mainly for I'll do another video on that, but yeah, I've got adjustments there, but you don't have to have that. I just added that myself. But yeah, that's about it for the basics on Photoshop. It's very simple, and if you just practice on it, you'll get a lot better. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new. Hope you're all having a sick day today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Everything around me.